Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Mehan. My name is Paul Zizeng. My metric number is 202223. We are from Group A2. Today, we are going to present to the topic about the importance of corporate governance and business ethics in today's world. Corporate governance is the system by which companies are directed and controlled. The top board are responsible for the governance of their companies. For example, the role of shareholders in corporate governance is to appoint the director and the auditor and to satisfy themselves that an appropriate governance structure is in place. Corporate governance is a system that aims to instill policy and rules that help to maintain the cohesiveness of an organization. It exists to help companies steer clear of financial, legal, and ethical pitfalls. However, business ethics are the moral principles that act as a guideline for companies to conduct their business. Every company will have their own business ethics plan to promote their integrity among their employees and gain trust from key shareholder like such as investor and customer. Next, this is the first point. Business ethics is very important because it can help to improve the reputation of a company. The reputation of a company will influence their benefits. Why I would say like that? This is because they can get a lot of benefits in very way. For example, companies that have good reputation will be easier to attract and maintain talented employees, customers, investors, and other businesses that want to cooperate with them. Besides that, they will also get support from social media and customer. Those companies will get free advertisements as a support from social media because those companies can bring views to social media. And the form of free advertisement may be put those company on the front page of the magazine, newspaper, and post. All these benefits will definitely help those companies to increase their profits because some of the customers say that they will keep supporting those companies that have a good business ethics.
Hello and hi everyone, I'm Venkateshwar Chandan and I will be presenting about the connection between corporate governance and business ethics. So I will begin with business ethics and we'll move on to the corporate governance. I hope you guys pay attention to what I'm presenting here. So every company and organizations have to rely upon good terms with all the stockholders and stakeholders. So companies need to return good favor to every stakeholder, such as great returns for shareholders, reliable products for consumers, responsible relationship with the community, and also a clean environment. So moving to the business ethics, it is basically the implementation of general ethical principles to business dilemmas, which is actually brings a broader range of problems and concerns than law because everything that is legal might not be ethical. So ethics means the knowledge and awareness of what is right or wrong and then following the right path, but everyone should know that the right path is not always simple as they think. The purpose of business ethics is to provide people with the tools by which they can deal with moral complexity in business. While ethics provides moral guidelines, organization or company must apply these guidelines in making decisions. Like ethics that applies to business means business ethics is not a separate theory of ethics. Instead, it is an application of ethics to business situations. So next, for the good corporate governance, the key is empower profits and reputation. So it is represents the relationship among stakeholders, which is used to determine and control the strategic direction and performance of the companies. Meanwhile, the accountability is a major element that needs for a corporate governance to fortifying the latter in the way that it offers a transparent template for governing critical decisions, activities, and procedures. So, the corporate governance generally focuses on two major questions. The first one is who may benefit from corporate decision or senior management actions. The second one is who should benefit from senior management action or corporate decisions. So there are numerous reasons why organizations should act ethically, since behavior varies as per the values priorities. A mutual effort at all levels to deal with corporate ethics start with a clear understanding of core values to both organizationally as well as individually. So, good corporate governance start with the own internal practices and policies of the company. Although the issues regarding corporate governance are common across companies, each organization needs its unique governance principles. It is for also ensures that long-term strategic objectives and plans are well set up and the proper management structure is in its place. So the corporate governance actually presents the moral framework, the ethical frameworks, and the value frameworks under which decisions are taken in an organization or company. So that's it on the relationship between the business ethics and corporate governance. Hopefully, you guys found this as an informative presentation. I pass to my partner for continue the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to the following part, which is why are business ethics important to employees, an organization's leader, the organization itself, and to the country. So here's why. To the employees, it can strengthening employee retention. Employees always prefer to stay longer in a company where their rights and opinions are respected by their superiors and managers, because to them, their basic needs are satisfied. Secondly, it motivates employee behavior. Companies that ensure business ethics encourage their employees to carry out their responsibilities with integrity. Besides, business ethics can boost performance. It can powerfully boost employee performance by keeping the team's morale high. For instance, good business ethics involves rewarding the employees. When an employee is rewarded, he or she may works harder, leading to more profits. Secondly, to the organization's leader, business ethics lays the groundwork for strategic decision-making. This is because leaders of an organization that displays ethical behavior make socially acceptable decisions. Secondly, it helps retain top talent. It is important to lead by example because when employees see their leader make ethical decisions, they gain more confidence in the organization and its ability to treat them and customers equally. Aside from that, it can build good habits that last. Moral or ethical leadership is based on refusing to engage in any immoral activity and leading with honesty and integrity. Next, the importance of business ethics to the organization is ensuring a good reputation. Clients and consumers that trust in the company and want to support it, as well as other businesses interested in partnering with it. Aside from that, it can attract investors. A company that encourages ethics in its management and operations create a positive investment environment so they can attract more investors. Other than that, it helps minimizes the cost. This is because the majority of the employees are retained in the company, so less money is spent on the employee recruiting. Moreover, business ethics also helps in maintaining quality. An ethical organization would strive to provide high quality goods and services to their customers. Lastly, the importance of business ethics to the country is it contributes to the improvement of the law by outlining appropriate practices that are not under the authority of the government. I think that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you. Authority of
Thank you, and I'll shall continue the presentation with the importance of corporate governance and business ethics. Why are these two important and what are the importance? So first, corporate governance is important towards the employee as corporate governance are meant to run the companies and organization in an ethical manner. So by doing so, it can cultivate the company culture filled with employees that are higher in integrity. As a result, employees with such integrity can efficiently work out their job and excellently do any work processes. Good corporate governance can ensure the organization's leader in running their business and operations smoothly and ensure transparency and prevent any corporate scandal, fraud, and issues pertaining to corporate liability. Corporate governance is also important to an organization's leader to avoid mismanagement. Next, a good corporate governance is important to organizations as it contributes to visibility of errors. This is when risks are controlled and organization procedures are streamlined and consistent. Such error can quickly be identified and non-conformities can be avoided. It will then result in cost reduction. Lastly, why corporate governance is important towards a country is because companies in certain countries are public and with better corporate governance they are less prone to bribe regulators and judges. This is where it is pointed to the public institution effectiveness. Utilization efficiency is when resources are efficiently utilized. It will eventually improve access to finance and increase the possibility of building efficient domestic or regional capital markets over time. Hence, corporate governance is a system that aims to instill policy that rules that help a role that helps maintain the cohesiveness of an organization. It exists to help hold a company accountable while helping them steer clear of financial, legal, and ethical pitfalls. The importance of corporate governance is made abundantly clear by the direct benefits seen with a good corporate governance framework is in place. Then I'll show pass the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Nokara Abdurrahim. My metric number is 202195. So I will explain about the sources of the corporate governance and business ethics. Alright, for the corporate governance, the rules and institutions come from a variety of sources, both public and private. A primary source is the company or corporation law of the individual countries concerned. This legislation governs the creation, basic structure, and primary rules of operation of the company and corporation. It also states some of the basic rights of shareholders, including the right to vote, to receive information about company matters, and to challenge management decision in court. The nature of this right varies significantly from country to country. If you look at our country, which is Malaysia, we have the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance (MCGG) that is prepared by the Securities Commission Malaysia, which is one of the important references that can be used as a guide in the implementation of good governance, not only by company listed on Bursa Malaysia, but also can be used by unlisted companies, government-owned companies, and other small and medium enterprise (SME). If you look at other country like the United States, which has a system of federal law, each of the 50 states has its own corporation code. In addition, judicial decisions by state courts have developed important legal doctrines governing corporate behavior, such as the business judgment rule and the duties of care of loyalty of corporate officers and directors. American states corporation law are very similar but not identical. Example, they have Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which is came after financial scandal that emerged in the early 2000s that involved companies such as Enron Corporation, Telco International PLC, and WorldCom. Alright, so for the second important source of corporate governance are national rules and regulation with respect to the sale, distribution, and trading of security involved being the public. Example, in the United States, they have the 1933 Securities Act and the 1934 Securities Exchange Act. Alright, so next I will explain about the sources of the business ethics. They have three sources of the business ethics, which is religions, culture, and law. So the HR manager in every organization has to well versed with the unique system of value developed by these three sources. All right. So for the religion, religion give an expression of what is wrong and right in the business and other walks of life. The principle of reciprocity towards one fellow being is found on all the religions. Example, exchanging things with other for mutual benefit is seen in all the religions such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianism, and Islam. Great religions preach the necessity for an orderly social system and emphasis upon social responsibility with an objective to contribute to the general welfare. Alright, so for the culture, it consists a basic of a set of values, ideas, perception, preference, concept of morality, code of conduct, which creates a distinctiveness among human groups. When we talk about culture, we typically refer to the pattern of development reflected in a society, patterns of knowledge, ideology, values, laws, social norm, day-to-day ritual, and so on. Culture differs from society to society and passes from generation to generation. Culture also encourages the members to the organization to give a priority to organizational goals over and above their personal interests. Alright, so for the last sources of the business ethic is law, which is any group, any country legal system serve as a guide for human behavior in society. Whatever the law defines as ethic, it is binding on society. These are the type, standard, and procedure that every corporation should follow in order to comply with its ethical obligation. However, because of the law is reactive in nature, these sources have a big influence on business ethic, which varies from firm to company and country to country, which is why they differ around the world. I think that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you guys for the explanation. I'm Aina, and now I will talk about an example of a case related to this topic. In this case, I will talk about one Malaysia development berhad case, or famously known as 1MDB scandal. 1MDB is strategic development company wholly owned by the Minister of Finance. Generally, 1MDB was formed to drive strategic initiative for the country's long-term economic growth by performing global relationships and promoting foreign direct investment. 1MDB focused on energy, real estate, tourism, and agribusiness as strategic development projects. The firm has been under investigation since 2015 for unusual money transfers and allegation of money laundering, fraud, and debt. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a lawsuit stating that at least $3.5 billion was stolen from Malaysia's 1MDB state-owned fund. The claim sum stolen was raised to $4.5 billion in September 2020, while 1MDB debts were stated as $7.8 billion in Malaysia government report. The scandal of 1MDB is an example of corrupt and illegal business operations that some business engage in, especially when doing business in foreign countries. The funds were used to finance numerous operations that are unethical in the business arena. Business ethics, which is so important and fundamental to the management of in any company, was completely discarded. So, please practice the right business ethics when doing business. Second, while on the job, please be responsible, honest, and competent worker. In this situation, professionals who had been trained and charged with preventing such crimes failed to do so. In reality, they assist and encourage this immoral alliance of politics and business, highlighting Malaysia's inherent risk. It would be preferable if the firm offered legal and business ethics programs to educate employees on the importance of ethics and ethical decision making in the workplace or in public and in relationship. Last but not least, I just want to say that 1MDB shows how important it is to have institutional checks on politics power so that decision making is shared and not concentrated in the hands of one person or a few. When a person holds a political or high-ranking position in the government and is given authority to manage a substantial funds, they may be tempted to engage in unethical or criminal acts. So, until the situation is examined by a foreign government, the responsible parties' involvement can keep the problem from growing worse. 1MDB shows that power, greed, and abuse tend to go together, whether in government or in business. 1MDB also shows that leadership is about character, not competence. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter.
I will use a well-known case. Enron case. The first is the company and the case background information. Enron was one of the largest energy companies in the world. Enron had about 21,000 employees and disclosed a turnover of 101 billion in 2000 year. However, Enron failed for bankruptcy in the 2001 year. This case is called the Enron case. Enron's bankruptcy not only caused the heavy loss of millions of shareholders, but also caused a large number of employees of the company to lose all their position funds invested in the company's stock. This bankruptcy of Enron not only exposed Enron's unethical behavior, but also gave us enlightenment. So what caused the Enron case? First, the corporation and the unethical behavior of management. The management of Enron, including the board of directors, the board of supervisors, and the company's senior management. The accusations they face include negligence of duty, false reporting of accounts, misleading investors, and their personal gain. And then is the accounting fraud and integrity crisis. The fake accounting and auditing system created flash point profits. Enron's fake financial data shows Enron's good performance, but in fact, Enron did not have a good financial situation. Enron's complex financial reporting system seriously confused shareholders, which is one of the reasons why Enron eventually went bankrupt. And then what we can learn from the Enron case. First, the good corporate governance is extremely important to operation and the development of a company. Good corporate governments can assess the enterprise management and the operation and provide an effective supervision mechanism to encourage enterprise to make a good use of resource, improve efficiency, and thereby enhance competition. And second is the company should establish an internal supervision mechanism to supervise and manage unethical behaviors. The unethical behavior of enterprise may harm the survival and the development of the enterprise itself. That's all for my part. Thank you.